Alrighty, hi everyone. I am Brittany, the Cosmic Lunar Soul, and I have with me, as always, Priscilla. How are you doing
Hi,
today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm excited. We're going to be doing the hashtag editors pick decks. This is
Yes.
going to be a VR to Nova Mundi. Am I saying that
Yes.
right?
I think
Okay,
so.
cool.
Yeah.
Nova Mundi Tarot. I have the link to her video in the description and the prompts as well. So there's 15 prompts, so strap in. It's going to be a long one. Let's go ahead and get it kicked off with number one, which is let me get this on the screen. Number one is Inner Child. What deck did you pick, Sil?
Okay, one moment. Just sending an
Consulting the
announcement in
notes.
your
Oh,
Discord so
thank
everyone knows we're
you.
live. Okay. So, inner child, I went with I think my understanding of this tag is that we're supposed to pick decks that we would recommend for these kind of prompts to other people. So let's say someone is
Mhm.
asking us, what would you recommend for inner child work? So I went with Wisdom of the Pooh Tarot.
Mm,
Yeah,
that was a close second of mine.
yeah. So this is created by Serafina and Angel Mesa, and it is illustrated by Kat Amsel. It's published by Ruin Vervain, which is Serafina's company. And yeah, I love this for inner child work. It's very nostalgic. Obviously,
Mhm.
this is not going to be everyone's cup of tea for child work. I feel like if you have a connection with Winnie the Pooh and you grow
Yeah,
up with Winnie the Pooh, this will feel, I guess,
way
nostalgic for
more
you.
nostalgic. Yeah.
Yeah, for you personally. For me specifically, I grew up with the books of Winnie the Pooh. I do have books with original art from the original artist in my book collection. I have them actually packed away in a box with childhood books and stuff that I own. But yes, this for me is very nostalgic. So I felt
Mhm.
like it would be a good recommendation for those who are looking to deep dive into their inner child and
See,
feeling that
that's
kind of,
a good pick because even like I said, I didn't grow up reading or watching Winnie the Pooh. Like I
yeah.
knew who Winnie the Pooh was, I
Hmm.
vaguely knew the characters, but even for me, like that was a very close. I was very close to picking that deck for this as well, just because it has such a
Yeah.
youthful kind of energy. It's very easy to connect, very cartoonish, but in a good way.
Yes. And the extended guidebook. So, if you get the extended guidebook, whether a physical or a digital version of it, I feel like the depth that the entries go into just brings even more of that feeling of nostalgia, but also that feeling of wanting to deep dive your inner child and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because she does have a sections of, I guess, actual story from like the original stories, like different clips, and also
Mm-hmm.
sometimes there's like some pictures of like the original art that was inspired, that made the inspiration for the artwork that's on the card, which is really cool. So for me, it felt like a great pick for this one specifically. What did you end up choosing for this? I'm kind of curious since now you're saying that this is a close second. What did you choose?
It was. I actually went with the Song of the Grandmothers. Um,
Oh, okay.
so for me, I guess like some of my favorite childhood memories were spending like summertime with my grandma and stuff like that,
Oh,
and
I
just
love that.
going on trips with her. And I really like well, let me pull out the cards. I like the different, I like when oracles kind of have like a little sort of suits about them and they have different
Yeah.
categories. So I just kind of think that's really cool because you can kind of pull out if you're doing inner child work, you can categorize like the parts of the inner child that you want to focus on.
Yeah.
And the deck just has such a really cool vibe to it, even though I pull out the tornado as the first card. But yeah, it's just so bright and cheerful. It just very happy overall kind of energy. And I think it would be really easy to work with from an inner child perspective. And some of the artwork kind of reminds me of some of the books from when I was a kid as well, like the artwork, the art style, I guess.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of nostalgia in some of the cards as well. But yeah, I really like this. So my first pick was an oracle. Okay, let's go on to number 2, shadow work.
Right. Okay. So, for shadow work, okay, so I have several decks that I would use for this particular purpose. And I did think about talking about like the Earth, Moon, and Shadow Oracle, but then I was like, I just talked about a Ruin Vervain deck, so let's pick something different for that kind of purpose. So I picked one that's actually mass market, which is Between the Worlds Oracle. This is the
Oh,
shadow casting and bone and curio oracle cards. So I picked this one for shadow work, and I really love this deck because the guidebook one is a wealth of information. Honestly, I
mm-hmm.
absolutely love it. I know several people who have modded this deck and like stamped like keywords on the cards
Oh,
themselves, which is really cool. Um, because they don't have actual keywords on them. But in the guidebook, you get a lot of like you get like a reflection section, which has like different questions and things that you can reflect on and I guess like think about. So it makes you think in that kind of sense, which I feel like in terms of shadow work, that's like a great thing to do, to think,
uh-huh.
to
Yep,
reflect on stuff. So I,
absolutely.
so I feel like this is a good one for that purpose, and I do really love this deck. It's like a small little
Mm-hmm.
cards, which is really great. We have a coffin nail,
I flip flop on like
doll's arm.
on getting that deck.
Yeah, you should. I think it would fit because you do bone readings. I feel like this
Yeah,
would be like a great fit if you didn't want to bring like your bones with you somewhere and you wanted to do
yeah.
like that kind of reading. I feel like this would be.
I think it would be interesting too to figure out like maybe things that are missing from my current kit as well, like gaps in like certain aspects and keywords and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hi guys, hi Lori, Sandy, Luke, Roa, welcome.
Yeah, hi everyone. So yeah, what did
So
you pick for this I'm gonna assume the
I
Earth, Moon, and or Earth, Moon,
yeah.
and Shadow. I knew it. I knew
So
it.
I debated on picking out I was debating on if I wanted to pull out the Wild Unknown for this, but I actually just opted to
Yeah.
go with this one. It is the one that I've been using consistently since I've gotten this deck. I also considered pulling out Dark Reflections Tarot,
Oh
but
yeah, yeah. I figured you would either pull out this one or the Dark Reflections, to be
yeah,
honest with you.
this one is I pulled this one out because it is my default that I use. Even when I use Dark Reflections,
Mm,
I'm almost always certainly pulling out at least one card of this as well. I
yeah.
just like the themes overall. It helps me explore things. And then I can really pair it with whatever tarot that I kind of am feeling based off of that vibe, that
Hmm.
card. So that's what I tend to do.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I bumped it up the list. But I mean, anybody who is not new to this channel knows that I love this deck. This is also by Serafina from Ruin Vervain. So I
Yeah.
am a Ruin Vervain stan here. Look at this. I'm going to finish with this card because it's just so beautiful, so vibrant. And oh, the camera picks it up way better than in person. But I think it has such really great elements to it that are not, they're challenging, but not like, don't feel like it would like curse you out like the wild unknown does.
Yeah. That's funny. Oh, before we move on, just a plug Ruin Vervain, since we're already plugging them already. They currently have a deck funding on backer kit. It's the Shadows of Wonderland Tarot. If anyone is interested in checking it out, please do so. I believe Luke is has mod abilities, right? Luke, if you can get the link for the backer kit and pop it into the chat, that would be great.
Yes, thank you. I was actually going to do an honorable mention of like, I might want to utilize this a lot for shadow work when it comes in.
The guidebook is going to be great for that purpose, because the guidebook is literally, the meanings in there are just shadow meanings. So it'll be great once it's like fully done and everything.
That's what I think. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Number 3 is Deity Work or Spirit Guides.
Yeah, so I had a hard time with this specifically because in terms of like Deity Work, if someone asks me specifically for a recommendation, I typically will ask them which deity, because I don't assume that people are going to be randomly just doing deity work in general.
Right.
I feel like they're going to be worshiping or working with a specific deity. So then I would give recommendations based on the deity that they state. So the deity work was really hard for me. I think if I had the deck, I would recommend probably the Mythos Tarot. I don't own that at this time in my collection. So yeah, so I went with Spirit Guides, and I chose the Guides of the Hidden Realms. This is by Karen Reed. It's also illustrated by her. So this is actually the first deck that she's ever illustrated herself, which was super exciting in my opinion. And this is published by Hay House. It is so every card has a specific guide on there, and they have like a specific title, and then there's keywords on the cards.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, so I felt like this would be a good one. You can pull a guide and then see what the guide has to say to you specifically in terms of like a message. So I feel like this was a good one.
Ooh,
for that
gloss
purpose.
is glossing.
I know. It shuffles well though, even though it's glossy, but it shuffles well.
Oh, it's not like sticky gloss.
No, God, no. Thank God.
I know.
It just shines a lot because it's reflecting on the fact that my window is behind me. So yeah, but I really like it. It's a really cool cool deck. Very interesting. Very out there in my opinion. And Luke sent the link for the backer kit if anyone's interested in backing the Shadows of Wonderland Tarot. So yes, but I definitely like this a lot for that purpose. And there's a lot of like colors and things, which is really cool. And I love that there's keywords on the cards.
Yes.
So it makes it like really accessible to use as well, which is great.
Come on, let's go uppies.
Hi, Luna.
Say hi to your adoring fans. Can you say hi? She's being a butt today.
Now, what did you choose for Spirit Guides?
So I struggled with this too because I don't work with deities at all. And I kind of had the same mentality as you. Like, it would vary based off of who they are working with.
Yeah.
And I also don't really do spirit guide stuff either. Like, I work with my ancestors and that's generally it.
Okay.
So I had to think, I was like, well, if someone asked me, like, if I could recommend them something from my collection, I would go with the Meraki Tarot. This is the second edition. It's very nature based, so I feel like it's generic enough that people can kind of see in it whatever it is that they are looking for. And there's a lot of animal representation as well, which I think is a very common method of communication, I would say, or symbolism, and a lot of that stuff. So, like I said, pretty generically neutral, very easy deck to read with. Is this upside down? No.
I think that's a good option.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like
I
that.
literally picked it like right before, like right when we were setting up.
I know.
But I think this, when I was looking at it, I was like, this is actually a really great one. I think that this would be, um, it's really pretty as well. Just gives very calm readings overall. So I think a lot of times when you're trying to talk to your spirit team and stuff like that, it's really nice to get really like even keel kind of messages. Nothing too like in your face, I guess I'll say, but still very clear and concise. Yeah, I love this deck, and it's really pretty. It has that green, naturey kind of vibe about it.
Yeah, that's really nice. I really like it.
So that was a good pick. Good last minute pick. Okay, Ancestor Work. What did you
Okay,
choose?
this was the same as the previous one. Like, if someone's asking me for a recommendation, who are your ancestors? Like,
Yeah,
what region are they from?
right.
What culture are they from for me to recommend a deck to? So like it was really hard for me to pick. Like I know what I would pick for my ancestors specifically, but for other
Yeah.
people's ancestors, I don't know. So thinking of a general one was really hard. So I chose the Witch's Wisdom Tarot
Hmm.
by Phyllis Currott and illustrated by Danielle Barlow. This is published by Hay House. This is the standard edition. There used to be a deluxe edition. I think you can still get it probably in some places, at least until stock runs out, because I know Hay House is no longer printing that edition.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like this would be a good one because most of it is nature based.
Yeah. You did the
And
same thing that I did for the last prompt. That's so
yeah,
funny.
so I feel like in terms of like and there's like different things happening with the court cards in terms of like people and like just god like messengers, goddesses and different things like that. So I felt like this would probably be a nice one for ancestor work, just connecting with
Mm-hmm.
in terms of like earth and things like that, like just
Yeah.
general practice. It also has animals in it and like different things happening. It's the suits are by um uh the elements.
Oh, okay.
So yes, we have the three of water. So
Hey, Vaniru.
different things are happening.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Um the only thing though is that the major arcana is backwards. They did a different journey with the major arcana. So it actually starts with the world. The world, yeah, I think it starts with the world and then works its way backwards.
What
But
was
it's
the
actually
rationale for that?
so it's like it's in the guidebook. I can't remember exactly, but I think the rationale was like instead of starting from a place of like zero where you're starting like a new journey, you're actually working the other way around and going through the steps the other way instead. It's really interesting. They talk about it in the guidebook. I can't really remember everything in terms of that, but
Mm-hmm.
so the world is one, but they have like judgment as initiation as two, and then the sun is three. It's like a really interesting take on how to do
Mm-hmm.
the major arcana. I actually really like it, but you're gonna have to read, like if you're familiar with tarot, I would say this is probably not a beginner deck. I would say if you're familiar with the tarot already, then you'd probably be interested in how they went through the cards itself in terms of the journey they took with the major arcana. I don't know if it says anything specifically about the path, why they did it. Uh, okay, so typically you would go from the Fool to the World, but
Mm-hmm.
they decided to do this instead. So they said, we found ourselves in the world and it was on fire. As we watched, a young woman in hiking boots with a heavy pack on her back strode away from the burning metropolis and into a natural landscape. We entered the world as it is at this very moment, civilized and self-destructing, yet still wildly natural and beautifully wise. We met the pilgrim, and she is somebody's fool. For the next 21 days, we traveled with her. So our journeys found her in circumstances very different from the judgment card in the rider deck, with its Christian imagery of figures rising from their graves at the summoning of a heavenly angel. So instead, the pilgrim had paused by a clear and flowing stream to rest, reflect, and drink as two young foxes shredded her burdens, and a wily badger carried off a piece of her past. So they're doing like things differently in like a
Mm-hmm.
way that's like more reflective, I guess, and less Christian iconography. I actually really
Mm-hmm.
like how they did it. And they explain it in the introduction, why they did it this way instead, because they didn't want the major arcana to be traditional in that sense. Like
Yeah.
the cards are still there, they're just in a different order.
Mm-hmm.
They just go backwards. So you're starting from the World and you're ending on the Fool.
Yeah, that is an interesting concept. I actually
Yeah,
really like that.
yeah. So that's the witch's wisdom. What did you end up choosing for this particular prompt since you do ancestor work?
So I looked at it as like someone who's asking me most likely is also black. So I went with that thought. Like, so I went with the Gullah Tarot. This
Oh,
is
yes.
by let's see, Street Priestess Tarot on Etsy.
Okay.
But yeah, so I think I mentioned this a lot in reference
Mm.
to ancestor work, but it's basically inspired by the Gullah people of I always mix up my Carolina, South Carolina, and it kind of just honors their heritage and stuff. My family is not actually from the Carolinas; we're from various parts of Virginia, but
Okay.
um, I still like the iconography. I feel like there's probably still some historical connections to some degree to some of it, but I think I just like the representation um, that that the cards have.
Okay.
And I love too that it has keywords. So sometimes when I'm doing stuff, I can just use the keywords and not have to rely on the tarot side, because you can see it's very much like not. It doesn't follow any real symbolism of the Rider Waite Smith. I mean, it has
Yeah.
some of it, but yeah. So, yeah, I really like this for um, ancestor work. All right. Next one is divination. So, the prompt for this one is a deck that excels in traditional divination, clear, direct, and accurate. This is your top pick for those seeking predictive insight or practical answers.
Yeah. So I just went with the RWS. Like, what else am I gonna do for? Yeah, I went with the same exact one.
That's so funny. This is the first time we've been aligned on a specific prompt in a while. We've
Yeah,
chosen the same decks for different prompts,
yeah,
but yeah, so I love it. I mean, you want traditional? Well, I'm gonna give you traditional.
yeah, exactly. So this is obviously not the original because the coloring is different. This is the Centennial edition, but I prefer the coloring of this one specifically, mainly
So do
because it's way more muted
I.
and
Hmm.
not as bright as the original. Honestly, the original is
It's
ugly in terms of the colors. No
like
offense to the
Barbie
original, but
movie bright, like it's garish.
Yeah, the yellow is yellowing.
Yeah,
It's like really bright, which I'm
banana
not
yellow.
really a fan of. I do have it for the purpose of just it was just learning purpose that I bought the original.
Yeah,
Um but I prefer these particular colors. But
I do
yes, if
too.
you're gonna pick a traditional deck, just go traditional, I guess, like why
Hmm.
not? I could have also picked a Marseille traditional deck as well. Could
Yeah,
have picked any kind of traditional deck, I guess, in
of,
terms of
of
that.
either any of the systems. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think. I mean, obviously, if you're wanting traditional, you want that like symbolism. You want. I mean, you're basically describing the default deck to me.
Yeah.
Like, why get anything else? You're just kind of beating around the bush at that point. And I love
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I love the classic Rider-Waite Smith. I use the
Me
Centennial deck
too.
fairly regularly
Yeah.
comparatively to some other decks that I have.
Same.
I know a lot of people don't like it because it's very like religion-y feeling,
Yeah.
which I totally get because I'm also kind of vehemently anti-religious or anti-religion rather. And I don't know, something about the Centennial edition of the Rider-Waite Smith just scratches my brain just right. Something about those muted colors, and I can't get past the iconography.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Like I'm not a religious person at all, but I do enjoy this deck very much.
Mm-hmm.
And the original art that was
Yeah.
created for this deck. So, and remember, this was created during during a time when Christianity was a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense as to why there would be religious iconography in here. But yes, so yeah, those were our picks, I guess, for
Mm-hmm.
for
Yep.
this.
Well, that one was easy. So prompt number 6 is as above, a deck that connects the reader to cosmic or spiritual realms, ideal for soul work, life path, exploration, or messages from the higher self. It speaks to the divine perspective.
Right. So, okay, hold on. Let me just move stuff here. There's like so much stuff going on. Okay. So for me, I picked. I don't know. I went with this particular deck. I didn't really know what to pick for for this specifically. I guess. I decided to go with the Healing Spirits Oracle.
Okay.
And mainly it's because the artwork feels very higher consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
universe, kind of whatever. Like, look at this artwork.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. It's very ethereal.
Yeah, so I feel like there's also a face in this card, and I don't know if you can tell.
Mm-mm. Oh, yes. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. So I felt like this would be a great deck for As Above because of the imagery specifically.
Mm-hmm.
um
I agree.
it does have like key phrases on the card
Mm-hmm.
itself.
Yeah, Lena.
We have a hand here and
Mm-hmm.
like it's really cool. I really like this.
What do
Brent,
you use that
like
deck for normally?
I don't know. I use it as an oracle. I don't really use it for
Mhm.
like a
Oh,
specific
okay.
theme. If I want to pull it, I just pull it.
Mm. Okay.
But
Vonnie Rue was saying for the previous prompt, they were thinking
mm,
of the Marseille deck because people are sticklers about the card meanings with Rider-Waite Smith.
oh, okay.
Bye, Luna. Got cat fur all over me. Thank you.
What did you pick for this prompt specifically?
I actually went with my massive double deck here.
Oh, okay.
Shadows, the spirits of in shadows and dreams and incarnation oracles. So there, you can see the different colors and stuff. They're two different decks that I merged into one.
Okay.
I chose them just similar to the imagery. This is much more of a like darker as above though, whereas yours was very ethereal. This one's very like the polar opposite, but still has that same concept, just on the other end of the spectrum.
Wow. For me, this reminds me of the underworld
Yeah,
rather than.
so. It's ethereal in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
But I'd originally bought this for like shadow work and stuff like that, but it's a little, I very rarely use it. It's a little intense in my opinion.
Mm.
But I like it. I need to figure out ways to utilize it a little bit more. Maybe if I balance it out with the Earth, Moon, and Shadow, wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah.
Like, I'll end it with this one. Like, look at that. That's nightmare fuel.
I know. I remember when you used this on a live.
Yeah, that's such an iconic moment. It was so, I was like sweating over here. Like, oh my God, nobody's going to come back.
And they all did.
I know. Maybe I should do that for like Halloween.
You should.
Where I'm just like, okay, come and get your feelings hurt.
Yeah.
Okay, next prompt. So we did as above, and now we're doing as below. This is a deck you recommend for grounded, real-world readings. This one captures everyday emotions, human experience, and earthly wisdom with clarity and depth.
So for me in the prompt, I actually focused this specifically on everyday emotions and human experience. And I went with the Reclaim Oracle.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this is a newer deck in my collection. And it focuses specifically on emotions that people go through and like the different things that people have in their life. So we have faith here, we have fear.
That makes sense.
Kindness, limitation, vulnerability. What's going on? Guess for me, it'll be this oracle that is translated in English. It's called Oracle of the Voice of the Souls, published by Rockpool. Oh, okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Success, support, surrender, trust. I don't know. I really like this deck. I feel like it has, just it encompasses the different things that you would feel and experience every day. We have unworthiness, validation, openness, presence, pride, protection, overwhelm, sincerity, spite, stability, forgiveness, and etc., so on. But yeah, I really love this deck for that particular purpose. I feel like it's a good fit in the regard of everyday emotions and human experience. What about you? What did you choose for this deck?
Man, that one was hard. This one was also a 10th hour pick. But I decided to go with the Black Femme Tarot because I was sort of honing in on the side of like, what did it say? Of like human experiences.
Yeah.
So I feel like, the Black Femme Tarot was, it depicts like Black women in, well, I would say everyday scenarios, but not always, obviously. But you can kind of see like everyday life and stuff like that, or just reimagined in a kind of way. So I don't know. It's not my favorite pick, but I was like, maybe not too bad. I feel like I could use this for.
I like that. I feel like it definitely shows the the everyday emotions and human experience of
Yeah,
people.
it does. And I think like it's relatable to, at least like if you're femme presenting, I suppose.
Yeah.
But it's relatable in this sense of like totally oh, come on, there we go. Like this, I feel like I have done this
Mm.
before. um yeah, so I do like this deck, and I like all the colors. It's very vibrant. It's very pretty. Like look at the backs of the cards, just
Yeah.
like very
Cute.
cheerful kind of kind of deck.
You held up that card and you're like, "Oh yeah, I feel like I've done this before." And then in my head I was like, "Yeah, I'm too old to do that." Like I'm trying to get up from the ground and my knees are like creaking. I'm like, "Oh
I didn't say my knees weren't creaking when I got up,
god."
but
Sitting on the
definitely,
floor is a challenge.
I actually have a I have like a meditation pillow. So
Oh
it's one
my
of those
god.
really thick, dense pillows that you can sit on. So
Okay.
anytime I'm doing work on the floor, I can sit on that, and then I can like use that to get up.
Oh, that's good. I don't own one of those.
Yeah, it saves lives. um. So oh okay, Vanya Vanru was saying that the Reclaim Oracle. Um.
Would be their second choice.
Mhm.
First is the Signs of Times. Ooh, the Signs of Times. Okay. I
I
like that.
thought about that too. I
That's a
have
good
that
one
out. I
also.
should. Yeah.
It's a good one too.
Um. So 8 is a hug deck, a deck that
Yeah.
offers emotional support and comfort.
Yeah, so I went with the gentle tarot. I have the full size and I don't know. I just picked the pocket off my shelf because it was faster. Because I
Mm-hmm.
also have the pocket. Um so yes, I do love this deck. It is definitely gentle. I do love working with it. It has a lot of animals. I love it. Definitely gives me all the feels.
Mm-hmm.
This with the songs of the grandmothers is definitely my fave combo. So,
Yeah,
yes.
I don't think I would get the deck, but I do appreciate how nice a pairing that would be.
Yeah, I love it. And the big guidebook is fantastic. I think she's coming
Mm-hmm.
out with a second edition at some point or something.
Of the guidebook or the
Um,
deck or both.
the guidebook and the deck both. Yeah, she wants to do a another edition of the deck and she wants to do a second edition of the big guidebook and add
Mm-hmm.
I think she wants to expand it. She wants to add more spreads and things like that
Mm.
to it.
Wow, it's already an excellent guidebook.
Yeah, the big guidebook is fantastic. I always recommend. I think on her website you can get the deck and the guidebook together. So she has like a combo price to get both of them together, which is
Mm.
really cool.
Okay,
If you buy like the pocket, I think there's like an option to add the guidebook to it or whatever. So you get
gotcha.
like a physical book. But I love the artwork and I feel like it fit this prompt really well for myself. And it's definitely something like if someone asked me to recommend a deck, this is the one I would probably go to in terms of that. And then I'd be like,
Mm-hmm.
well, she has these combos on her website, so you can get the deck with the big book,
Yeah,
which is definitely worth it, in my
I mean,
opinion.
makes
So
sense.
yeah, in my opinion, it's great. And also she has the linen option.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she has the
I
full
forgot she
size
has the different
linen.
art.
Yeah, and then the pocket, which comes in a tin, which I love. And it slides open like this, which is really cool.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, I actually really like the pocket edition. I think it's really great. What about you? What did you choose for this?
I actually chose Wisdom of the Pooh for this one, but I'm not gonna.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay. Mhm.
since you already flipped through the cards, I'm not gonna flip through it. But I did. I was like, oh, this is such a sweet and just has like that nice vibe. I feel like it would be like getting a hug from a deck, But yes,
Agreed.
so
Yes. Yeah, I definitely agree that that fits really well as well.
mm-hmm. All right, feel good deck. These seemed really similar to me, like a hug versus feel good deck.
Yeah, but I picked different ones for them.
I did.
So for this one, I picked the Catacorn Tarot.
Aw.
Yeah, I love this. This is definitely feel good in my opinion. This is probably my favorite Sun card, honestly. Look,
Aw. That is
the
so
cat
cute.
the cat is hugging a little unicorn plushie, which I love. I love it. I just want to gush over this deck. This is my Queen of Swords. She's wearing glasses. That's me.
Aw.
Oh, I love it so much. This is like such a feel good deck. I feel like every time I use this, I'm just like giddy and everything. It just makes me so happy. Even like the more scary cards are even like fine. In my opinion, we have the Nine of Wands.
You make me want to get the deck so badly, and I know I just would not use it. I know I won't.
Oh, you should. You should get it though. Hey, US Games is having a sale right now.
I already just got that pumpkin deck.
Oh, the Halloween one?
Mm-hmm.
You got it from Amazon, right? Because it was on like $11. I was like,
Yeah,
that's such a good
I
deal.
couldn't not get it.
Yeah, for that price when it's like 20 something, I think USD originally.
Mm-hmm. When
It was
that's
like
$11, then I'll
40.
get it too.
I don't know. You should check. Check Amazon. I don't know. The
Let's
sale
see.
is probably better on Amazon, to be honest, than US Games. Um, but I don't know how steep this went down.
Nope, still 21.20 on Amazon.
Nah. I love this Queen of Pentacles.
Oh, I love that.
And then with the little bunny next to her. I love it
Aw.
so much. Oh, I'll show you the Queen of Wands because I know you like that card.
Yeah, I like the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands.
So the Queen of Wands, typically you would have the black cat, right? But since this is a cat deck, the cat is the main thing. She's not black though. She's more of a fiery kind of ginger color
She's a
because she has fire.
ginger.
She has fire ears, but she
Oh.
has a little mouse beside her.
Mm. Okay, that's cute.
That's cute. I love it. All the cats have like their elements with them. So like
Mm-hmm.
the wand suit, all the cats have like little fire on their ears
Oh, okay. I
and on
like
their
that.
and on their little horn.
Mm-hmm.
Um and then you have like, oh, here's the Queen of Cups. We have the wand, the water all over around her and everything. We have
Aw.
little fish swimming. Oh, I love the High Priestess card. Probably one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, I do like that. I love how they use the trees at the pillars.
Yeah, trees is the pillars, and you still have that
Mm-hmm.
the pomegranates, which are typically seen in the background of the High
Mm-hmm.
Priestess. We still have that moon motif. There's like
Yep.
the crystal ball to
Mm-hmm.
represent your inner knowing and things like that. I really like the symbolism. The person who did the artwork is like
Did a
so
great job.
great. This is the Seven of Pentacles. The cat is just patiently waiting. Look at his face.
Aw.
He's so cute. We have a little bee going to pollinate. I love this deck so much.
That
I could
deck feels
literally
like
show
the
it
perfect
all
summer
day.
deck.
Literally, literally.
Oh my god.
Look at this tower card.
Oh gosh. This the funny thing about that is Apollo's fat ass definitely has tipped over a few towers.
Cat towers.
Yes.
Oh, look at this King of Pentacles. I love this card so much. Look at the little plushie, little Taurus
Oh,
plushie,
little
little
Taurus.
yeah, look.
Oh, he's so proud of
He's
his kingdom, his little
he,
catdom.
he's so handsome.
He is.
I love him so much. Yeah, I love this deck. It's like one of my absolute. This is probably my favorite cat deck in my collection, to be honest with you.
Really?
And I love all my cat decks because
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
do.
about pets, but I can't. Vanny Roo is also like, you make me want that deck so badly. Stop. No,
Yep.
never. Sorry, I can't. Not with this deck. I
Maybe
will
next
never
time I will.
I will never talk you off the ledge for this deck. I'm sorry. Because I love this deck so much. Everyone needs to have it. Everyone should buy this deck. Everyone. Everyone.
You're not enabling at all.
No, I am enabling. And I'm not mad. I'm not mad at
You're
it.
not sorry about it.
I'm not sorry about it. Nothing. Nothing at all. So, yes. What did you
I
choose for this one?
I chose This Might Hurt. This is
Oh,
my
yeah.
feel good deck. I don't
I
know
love it.
what it is about this deck. It makes me so happy. It's something about the artwork and the colors. I don't know. It scratches my brain just right. I love using this. I mean, anytime I pull this out, I have a hard time like putting it back. It's definitely one of my favorites overall. And I feel like whenever I do readings for it, it's like a good reset. It makes me feel good. Even like the bad cards, I'm just like, I really love how things are portrayed in it.
Yeah.
And I just like the Nine of Cups, and it's just a guy making his pottery, and this is just so cool. Let me see if I can find.
That's a better card compared to the original. The original is some guy with all his wine or whatever.
Although that would equally make me happy. But yeah, like the Ten of Pentacles.
Yeah.
I love this Emperor here. Like he seems less daunting than the traditional Emperor.
Yeah.
And then it has like the Judgment card is just so cool.
Yeah. I think that's Anubis.
I think so. Because isn't he like the Egyptian god of like judgment? I'm not positive, but
Yeah, I
yeah.
think he's the Egyptian god of what would be their afterlife. So when
Mm-hmm.
in mythology, when you died, you would go through trials to enter the afterlife, and one of the
Mm-hmm.
trials was you would have to have your heart weighed against a feather. And
Yep.
if it's the same as the feather, then you would be granted into the afterlife, the kingdom of the afterlife or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I learned when I took my ancient Egyptian class in university.
I feel like I learned some of that from watching Night Moon on Disney Channel. A lot of my education comes from TV, which is bad. Historical education or mythology.
That's funny.
Let's go on to number 10, the most versatile deck. Hey, Robin.
Okay, I picked for versatile. Yeah, I picked Lightseers. This is a
Okay.
fave.
I
This is
picked
a
that deck
fave.
for something else.
Okay. um, Lightseers. I do have the full size. I just picked the pocket off of my shelf because it was more available. But yes, I do love this deck. I feel like it's a deck that I've used for any kind of topic, which is what the prompt is in terms of most versatile. I've definitely used this for all kinds of different readings when I've read for other people. So this is pretty much a deck that I would typically recommend for that. And then obviously there's the new big guidebook that you can get separately that
Yeah.
I've also recommended, which is absolutely fantastic. If you want to get the big guidebook, I highly recommend waiting until Hay House has a sale because you can get that book for like $10. And that's how much I paid for it when I bought it from their sale. So highly recommend waiting for a sale on their website. Because I got it, I think, for 60% off, which was fantastic. And it's a really great big book. But I love the imagery.
Mm-hmm.
It's modern. Um, so I feel like it would fit today's subjects and things like that. I love this Eight of Pentacles. Probably one of my favorite Eight of Pentacles in like a modern setting.
Really?
Yeah. So yes, and we'll end it. We'll end it on the King of Swords. So what did you pick for this one?
So I actually chose the unfolding path for this one.
Yeah, that's a good one
Yeah.
too.
So unfolding path. If this came out in a pocket edition, I feel like I'd get it. I would love it to be a pocket edition.
God, that would be amazing. I would also get that.
Right? Um,
I wonder if they'll
so
do it.
I don't know. I mean,
They should.
because
They
it's
should.
not like Athene doesn't have pocket-sized decks to begin with. So why not?
Yes. Yes.
But I love this. Similar to the Light Seers in a sense, like I like how modern it is.
Yeah.
It's nice to see like real people reflected in the cards as I show the devil. But it's nice to see real people portrayed in the cards. And I also just I like how they tackled the imagery because it's still traditional, but they still have a nice spin on it. So still relatable, easy to work with. I mean, you can use this for literally any kind of reading and just get a nice, clear answer. And you can use it for a variety of people. Yeah, the regular Rider-Waite Smith also makes a lot of sense. Van Roo. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Sorry.
Vaniroo?
Is it
I
Vanny
think
Roo? I don't
I
know.
think so. Or Vaniro. I don't know.
Like this gives me such Zorro vibes. But I absolutely love the colors of this too. And that sort
Yeah.
of non-border thing that's going on.
Yeah.
Absolutely favorite deck. It's just a very happy or very neutrally appealing deck, I feel like.
Yeah. I love this deck too. I do have it as well. And I
Mm-hmm.
do love it. So Vaniroo Fortuna Tarot, interesting for versatility. That's an interesting choice. For that prompt. But yeah.
Okay, 11. Most inspiring.
Oh, most inspiring. So I specifically focused on what was it in the prompt? A deck you would recommend to inspire creativity, intuitive flow, or personal transformation. And then it talked about like art, energy, the depth of messages, things like that. So I went with the Sacred Creators Oracle
Okay.
for this specifically. Since this deck is all about creators and creating,
Yeah.
I felt like the messages on here, this is like a affirmation kind of deck. And it does come with a guidebook, so there all are extensive meanings for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like this one says, one step ahead is all you need. And I feel like if you're wanting to create and want guidance on your creations or what you want to create, I feel like this is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely one that I typically recommend for that purpose. Um, so yes, we have some questions like, what do you really want?
Okay.
Celebrate your wins. Sacred mirrors. Yeah, I haven't used this in a hot minute actually, but I used to use it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also by Chris Ann, who's the creator of Light Seers. So it
Oh.
pairs really well with Light Seers and any of her decks really.
Oh. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. It says limitations inspire innovations. And then the guidebook is really cool because it has It has like essential meanings, self-care message. You have like a bunch of different things, and then you have like questions. I think for each card that focus on the theme of the card itself, which is really cool. Like for example, this one where it says one step ahead is all you need. You have questions like, how would you like to inspire others? How can you express your own creative optimism? Is there something that you've been pushing too hard for? Is there or something that you would benefit from more of your focus? When you tune in, what is your next step going forward? So you can take these
Oh,
questions
that's
and make
nice.
like a spread with it or journal or whatever it
Yeah.
is that you want to do. So yeah, I love this deck very much. What did you
I
choose for this?
I chose the Elridge Overload deck.
Oh, okay.
Um I went with this because it's like, I would say out of my collection, it's probably the most quirky and unique in that sense. And it
Mhm.
also has the game kind of aspect that goes along with it.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of leaning on the concept of like the artwork. As a sci-fi girly, I feel like, this just really makes me think of um, just like creating like a cool sci-fi world and like the stories that could go along with it. So that on top of the game aspect of it just feels very creative to me, or feels like it can be inspiring. So yeah, I kind of took it more for like the artwork side of things,
Okay.
but absolutely love this deck. It's one of the decks that I mean, this tower card is what kind of drew me to the Elridge Overload to begin with, and that cool use of the hollow foiling in all
Yeah.
the cards is just so cool.
Yeah, this deck is like so nice. I love it. It's so pretty.
Isn't it so cool? It's, and then like even the back is like, I mean, the use of the hollow foiling and stuff like that, it just makes
Mm,
it really, it was a really cool use of doing borders and cards, that
yeah.
especially when people tend to not like borders, and just integrate it into the artwork. So yeah, this one was my, I'll finish with this card. This one was my most inspiring pick.
I like that. That was a good pick.
Thank you. I feel like for me, like my interests in tarot are so like standard, and for the most part, I don't like branch out very often. So
Yeah.
uh, that one was like a unique one for me. Okay, best for beginners.
So for this one, I decided to go with The Learning Tarot by Weisfeld.
Oh, okay. Excuse me.
And the reason for that is because so on the card itself, so this is how the cards look. They are all colored. So you have purple for air, blue for water, green for earth, and red for fire. So they're all
Mm-hmm.
colored by their element. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So we have the standard tarot in the middle. We have the title of the card, and then we have upright, reversed.
Mm-hmm.
We have affirmation on the side,
Mm.
and then a short meaning here.
Oh, cool.
Okay. And then afterwards, it also gives you love, where am I? Love, career, finance keywords. And then it gives you a time period.
Oh, it kind of is broken up like Labyrinthos.
Yeah. And then it gives you the number, the element, the planet, the chakra, and the yes,
Yes
no,
or no.
maybe, whatever. And then lastly, the Hebrew glyph that's associated with the card. The planet can also be, I think, astrology. Yeah, so zodiac, if it's a zodiac instead of a planet
Mm-hmm.
associated with it. Um, and they do that for like every single card, which is really cool. I think this is like a great learning tool for people who want to learn everything about the cards themselves and what they all mean.
Mm-hmm.
I really love that there's a affirmation too, which is really
Yeah,
cool.
I think that's a really cool addition.
Yeah. So I really like it. And also it's the traditional deck, just with all this added stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if someone was wanting to learn tarot and they wanted a learning deck specifically, I would probably recommend this.
Mm-hmm.
But typically when people say they want to learn tarot, I don't typically recommend a specific deck. I usually recommend specific books.
Yeah.
Um, or like free resources typically to learn tarot. But if I
Mm-hmm.
was to recommend a deck, I would say this one would be the best. The deck is still in order. I haven't even shuffled it. So,
Yeah,
yes.
that's really cool.
Yeah, and in
How
the
do you pronounce
minors, it gives you the decan. It gives you the decan for each card.
Is it pronounced Deacon? I've been saying Deacon this whole time.
I think it's pronounced deck. I don't know. I've been saying
Oh,
decan. I don't know.
oh gosh. Well, I probably have been embarrassing myself for a while now.
Unless it's pronounced both ways. Like there's so
Oh,
many things that are pronounced two ways, you know?
yeah,
Like I
maybe.
wouldn't worry about it too much, to be honest with you. Who cares? Whatever. I'm sure people understand what you mean. But
Yes.
yeah. I don't know. I pronounce it decan. So yeah, it's really cool. I really like this deck. And it's
Yeah.
color coded, like I said, by the element.
Mm-hmm.
And it still comes with a guidebook, even though there's like all these information. It has a
Oh,
guidebook still that has a wealth of information. So
yeah.
yes.
I ended up choosing light seers. I'm not gonna flip through it since we already flipped
Yes,
through it,
yes,
but I
yes.
went with light seers because I mentioned previously a lot of people tend not to like traditional Rider Waite Smith because of the religious imagery and all of that.
Yes.
And I
Hmm.
think that this is a perfect clone that just modernizes Rider Waite Smith
Hmm.
and makes it way more relatable to people. And
Yeah.
I think being able to relate to the cards makes it easier to learn, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I agree. 100% I agree. I would also say this is that deck specifically is one that I recommend often if someone's looking for a modern
A modern deck.
deacon. Deacon? The guy of the
Yeah,
church. I have no idea.
that's yeah. It's the only
I
word.
I don't I don't even know what you're talking about when it comes to that. I have no idea.
A deacon's like a I don't know, some sort of appointed person in churches. I
I
don't
don't know. They have so many levels of appointed people at this point. I'm
I
just
know.
like I don't know. Whatever.
Um okay, let's go on to 13, the best for professionals. So we just did best for beginners. We're going to do best for professionals. Which is
So
so, why
no,
would a
go ahead.
professional not know what deck they're going to use? Why would you ask me that? Like, it's so strange. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I found this one really hard because if you're a professional at this point, you would you would just use whatever you're comfortable with, right? I would assume. So I don't know. I went with I looked at the prompt itself and how it was talking about like layered, how you would layer readings and like symbolism and all this stuff. And I was thinking and thinking and thinking. I chose my deck this morning because I couldn't even think. I was like, I don't even know. Like I would use anything from my shelf, I guess. But like, so I decided to go with Tarot of Mystical Moments.
Okay.
And mainly because recently I was on I did I I was in a chat in the chat for a live stream that Lisa did on God, what is the live stream that she does?
Lisa
Uh
Lopez.
yeah, when she has like when people have questions about tarot, and she does a live sometimes where she'll like answer people's questions about tarot and like work through what it is they're asking. So like if you have trouble with like certain cards, she'll like explain the different cards and how you can view them in different way. Anyway, she used this deck as an example on how you can cover the title and just read the card based on the artwork.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was brilliant. I was like, oh my God, this is great. This is such a great example because there's so much going on in the artwork for this particular deck. So I decided to pick this because I feel like this one has a lot of layers to it in the artwork.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you can take so much from the imagery and come up with the meaning of the card by not even looking. Thanks, Luke. Luke, if you can send the link for the last live that she did on troubleshooting the tarot, that'd be great. Um, there's so much layers that you can get from the imagery without even looking at the title. So if you wanted to just cover the title and just
Mm-hmm.
do exercises like that and just get meanings from that
Yeah.
specifically, that I felt like this would be really great. And that's how I looked at the prompt in terms of this. So Vanny Roo says, what do you mean by professional though? They read a lot or they've studied, read so the prompt itself is a deck you suggest for experienced readers who need depth, nuance, and strong symbolism. Ideal for layered reading, spiritual insight, and working with clients at a professional level. Again, I feel like if you're a professional, you have your go-to decks that you would use for those particular purposes. So I'm not sure why
Mm-hmm.
anyone would ask for recommendations at that point
Right.
for those things. But yeah, this would be my recommendation if someone was to ask me such a thing in that regard. So what did you pick for this?
I chose the Ethereal Visions
Oh
tarot.
yeah, that's a good one.
I went with this because similar to the Eldridge Overload, I like how
Mm-hmm.
the use of foiling integrates into the imagery of the tarot.
Okay.
And like in the 10 of Pentacles here, it makes up the 10 of Pentacles, but then you have the whole image on its own. And I also like how to like here you can see the dude's face is hollow, is a holographic foiling
Oh
in the
yeah.
tarot.
Looks
So
like
it's
he's
just
wearing a mask.
yeah, it looks like a mask, and I'm like, oh, that's very interesting. It's like, you know, a whole different concept to the tower.
Yeah.
But so I thought that was cool because it has like traditional imagery, but then utilizes that foiling to
Mm.
in other ways that can be looked at a little more differently. But
Yeah. I love that. I
this
still
is
need
like
to get that. It's on my list.
one of my favorite devil cards and one of my favorite like high priestess cards. I just love it because her
Mm.
crystal ball and the moon are the um holographic.
Mm. Yeah.
And of course I like the representation in it. There's um people from all walks of life sort of, but it really has that art nouveau kind of feel, I guess. But yeah, I really like
Yeah.
the soft almost watercolor style of this.
Mm.
It's so pretty. It's a cool Wheel of Fortune too. Yeah, so that was my pick um for professionals. Even though it's such a weird question. All right, witchy vibes. I feel like this one's gonna be obvious for me.
Yeah. I was just reading Vanier's comment saying that
Mhm.
that she's seen many people just use, the regular RWS, which I feel like is very typical in my opinion. Like most just use whatever they're comfortable with at that point. But I
Yeah.
like that she said her picks are Heaven of Earth Tarot and Spirit Keepers Tarot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
So
think people use the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, especially I would feel like with new clients, because it's the default. Or I won't
yeah,
say Rider-Waite-Smith is the default, but whatever traditional version of the system you use is just the default. So it's a good way to kind of gauge what your clients may or may not like before throwing out other things.
yeah, but I also feel like RWS is just the most versatile and just the most easy to understand, I guess, visually in terms of
Mhm.
like new people, like someone who's new to getting a reading or something like
Mhm.
that.
It's
Okay,
something
so
they've
for
most likely seen somewhere.
yeah. Yeah, exactly, exactly. So I actually picked two decks for this a particular prompt, and it's because they're actually sister decks. I don't
Okay.
even know how you would but I picked the Everyday Witch Tarot and Everyday Witch Oracle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um so why don't you show the tarot and I'll talk about why I chose them specifically. So the
Okay.
prompt itself is talking about witchy vibes and like all that stuff, but it also included like spell work, altar stuff, and whatnot. And that's another reason why I added the oracle to um, to this as well. So the tarot gives like witchy vibe in terms of like that kind of reading if you want that kind of reading. And then the oracle, I feel like if you bring the oracle in for more of that spell work or magic, the guidebook itself has magic little short rituals and things. And these are perfect together, obviously. So they're
Obviously,
perfect.
they're meant to be.
They're meant to be, yes. And then if you wanted to go even further, you'd get the trifecta and get the familiars oracle, which unfortunately I don't have, but Brittany does have the
I
trifectas.
do.
But yeah, that's why I chose these together specifically because I felt like they fit the prompt really
Yeah.
well in terms of witchy vibes and then the spell work vibe of
Yeah.
it. So
I agree. And I'll
yeah.
end with this one because perfect.
Oh,
With
I love
shopping at
that
the
card.
apothecary.
I love that card so much. The Seven of Cups. Oh,
Yeah.
Season of the Witch. Vanny Bruce says Seasons of the Witch.
Oh, that one's a good idea too. I don't have that.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Uh,
have the entire collection of the Oracle, and then there's going to be the tarots, the four tarots that are going to be coming out
are they
for
going to
the
be based off
season.
of the season?
Yeah, the
Oh, okay.
seasons. So it's going to be winter, spring, summer, and fall. I don't know in what order they're coming out, but winter is coming out first in
Oh,
October.
okay.
Yeah.
That's going to be really cool. Can't
Yeah.
wait to see that collection complete.
Yeah. So I'm probably going to get those to go with the Oracle because the Oracles, you can work with the winter one, you can work with both the Yule and the Impulk Oracles together.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's going to be fun because I don't really have winter decks. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah. I think
And
that'll
that,
be really cool.
yeah. Last one.
All right. Last one, astrology work. Was this
Yes.
hard for you to pick?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
It was the first one I knew exactly what I was going to choose.
Okay.
Yeah, so I went with the Astro Alignment deck. This is from Mystic Mondays by Grace Wong, published by Running Press. And I went with this specifically because this is the literally best mass market astrological oracle deck that is on the market, in my opinion. And I
Yeah.
say this as someone who loves astrology
Yes.
and really has high expectations on what I'm looking for in like a really good astrology deck. So this has the modalities, the elements, the zodiac signs, the houses, the astrological axes, or axes, the planets, the asteroids, lunar nodes, moon phases, aspects, and time travel. So we
Time
have a
travel.
Yes, so we have a lot in here, which is fantastic. So we have all the houses, which I absolutely love. This is what a house
Mhm.
looks like. It gives you the name of the house, gives you where it is, and then it gives you the keywords. And then, so we have all 12 houses, and then we have the zodiac signs. So it gives you the zodiac sign, the name of it, and the keywords. We have all 12, which is great. And then we have the planets, which it gives you everything,
Mhm.
including Earth, which was an interesting side side option. So we
Mhm.
have the name of the planet, and then the keywords, and then obviously
Keywords.
the glyph is in the middle for each planet. And like I said, randomly an extra one she gave us Earth, which was really cool. Gaia represents Earth. And then we have asteroids. So, Circe, Vesta, Psyche, Lilith, Eros, Pallas, Juno, Chiron. Then we have the aspects in astrology. So, trine, square, opposition, conjunction,
Mhm.
sextile, quintux, which is really great. These are the main ones. And then we have the north and south node, which is great, in my opinion, to have. This is like really good. This deck went above and beyond when it comes to the astrology. We have the moon void, of course. We have first quarter, third quarter. We have
Mhm.
super moon, new moon, waning crescent moon, waxing gibbous moon, waning gibbous moon, waxing crescent moon, full moon. We have all the moons and all the phases, which is also
Yep.
great. They all have keywords on them as well, which I really love. We have the axes, which is the MC, the descendant, the IC, and the ascendant, which is something I really look for in astrology deck, is having the rising sign. There's never a
Mm,
card for the rising sign in astrology
really?
decks, which really bothers me because the rising sign is one of your big three. It's what
Right.
starts your chart, and it's what rules your chart. So whatever that is your chart ruler. So the fact that most astrology decks don't, like, I'm talking mass market. Most astrology decks in the mass market realm do not have an ascendant sign. Now, my second choice for mass market astrology decks would be the Star Code Astro Oracle, which is what Vanny Rue mentioned. I
Mhm.
do love that deck, but there are some other cards that are missing from that deck. So it's my second choice. Like, it's something I would use second to this one. We have solar eclipse, lunar eclipse, we have transits, we have equinox, we have planetary return, we have cusp, we have solstice, we have retrograde, we have fire, earth, air, and water as the elements, and then we have fixed, cardinal, and mutable. So we have it all. This deck is chunky, as you can see. The
Yeah.
card the cards are round, but they're small, so they're easy to shuffle in my opinion because they're small round cards. But best astrology deck on the mass market space, in my opinion.
It
And I highly recommend.
it's very intense.
It's extensive, yeah, for sure. And
Yeah.
if you're someone who really wants to use Oracle decks for chart reading and understanding your own chart and things like that, this is the deck I typically recommend for that
Mhm.
purpose, because it's one of the best mass market Oracle decks that I've ever seen because it really goes into depth on everything you would need to know or want to see in your chart, which is, in my opinion, fantastic. So, yeah. And what did you
I
choose after my entire rant?
No, I'm not surprised you chose that. So I feel like I kind of came at this with the idea like anybody who's asking me understands that I am not big into astrology,
Yeah.
and generally like my extent of astrology is really just moon work. So I
Yes.
chose Spirit de la Lune
Oh,
because it
yes.
does have some
Mhm.
astrological concepts in there, but mostly from the moon's perspective. So it also has like the moon phases.
Mhm.
Um, it has, sorry, it has the like different full moons in there.
Mhm.
But then let me see. I think it has some. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't have the. This is how little I generally infuse like astrology
Astrology.
into it. Yeah, yeah. No, it doesn't have the astrological
Oh, it
stuff.
doesn't
It
have cards for like new moon in
mm-mm,
Aries. Oh,
nope.
okay. So it's just a moon deck. Just goes through the phases of the
Yeah.
moon.
So
Okay.
this is just a moon deck. I
That's
apparently
okay.
just, but yeah,
That
that's
looks like
yeah.
a nice it's a nice indie option if anyone's looking for a moon deck. That's a nice indie option. I
I
wish there
agree.
was more options for that purpose on the mass market space. Like the closest moon deck that I really, really love that actually has cards in the moon phase, like the moon phase plus the sign, would be the Moonology deck. But the second one that she did, that
Yeah.
one has the new moon, the full moon, the last quarter, and the first quarters in the signs, like a card for each sign. So I do
Mm,
really like that deck specifically for that purpose, but there's no deck out there that goes through every single moon phase in every single sign, which is something that I would really personally
that'd
like.
be yeah.
And something I personally would definitely work with if they had all the signs. This would be
Mm-hmm.
the closest, in my opinion, because I can take the card of the moon and then pair it with the sign.
Yeah.
So this would be the closest for me personally, but I don't have a deck
Nothing
other
that's
than
built in, and that's how the
exactly.
deck was created. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Someone needs to make that.
Someone get on it right now.
Yeah. And make it mass market so we can all afford it.
That's the key.
That's the key. Yeah.
Well, that was our last one.
Yeah, that was our
Um,
last prompt.
that's so funny. We had what, two of the same exact picks? We had the witchy one, and then we had
Um,
the-
yeah, witchy one and then the centennial.
and yes, the divination prompt.
And then we had also like in terms of like we pulled the deck, but for different prompts, the
Yes,
wisdom. We had
Lightseer,
light seers,
Wisdom of the Pooh.
wisdom of the pooh. I think that was it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, because I didn't pick the unfolding path for anything. I do own it, but I didn't pick it for anything.
yeah. I was shocked that didn't make an appearance.
Yeah. No, I'm more shocked the Wild Unknown didn't make an appearance actually.
Well, yeah, actually,
a
yeah,
Kim a Kim Kranz deck of some kind didn't make an appearance. I
yeah.
didn't I
Actually,
didn't
now
choose
that
one
you
this
say that,
time.
I'm very surprised that something from the collection didn't make it.
I know. I have them down here actually, the spirit animal and then the archetypes pocket edition.
Mm-hmm.
But I put the bigger decks away. I put them on the top now, and I only have the
Yeah,
pockets out.
you're definitely a pocket girly anyway, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and I wanted to put everything back in its box, like the original box, and the original box is very chunky
Yeah.
for those particular decks. So
Mm-hmm.
when I reorganized my entire collection on Friday, I organized everything the way I like it now. So
Yeah. Well, that was super fun. What do you have
yeah.
coming out next, Sil? What do you want to shamelessly plug?
Ooh, I don't actually know. I have to edit some stuff. I know that I've put up recently, if anyone wants to go check out, I put up recently my let's see, what did I put out recently? Um I put out recently a running press haul of decks, part one. These are some
Mm-hmm.
decks from last year. I put up also my Shadows of Wonderland Tarot prototype video,
Mm-hmm.
which I believe you also did.
Yeah.
And then the April upcoming releases I put out earlier this month. I have to make my list for May. So I'm going to do that probably. And I have several videos that I need to edit.
Yeah.
So I have a Hay House haul. I have a haul from uh,
Yeah.
Sterling Ethos, Union Square and Co. I have a haul from them. I have a deck that I filmed from Wiser Books that I need to put up. I need to edit and put up. I have 2 books from DeBry that they sent me that I have filmed and I have to edit, put up as well. So I have stuff filmed. I just haven't edited anything. So yes, I got to do that. I got a lot of editing to do because I have
Yeah.
several videos to edit. But
I have a few more that I have to edit as well. But
okay.
I did also do a preview of the Shadows of Wonderland.
Yes.
And then last week I also finally put out the flip through of my Arcana Folia Oracle.
Oh, I have to watch that.
Yes, it's so pretty.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out what I would want to pair it with. And now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like it would pair really well with the Meraki Tarot.
Oh, yeah,
so
for
I might
sure.
Test that pairing out.
Luke,
I know Luna's like, please.
Why don't you do on your next reading live? Why don't you do that pairing?
Yeah, I should do that. I'm gonna pull out. That's a good idea. I'm gonna pull out the Meraki Tarot and the Arcana and see how they go.
Great. So for anyone who doesn't know, Brittany does readings pretty much every Friday, or at least she puts up notifications that you can subscribe to be notified for when she does readings. They are free readings. Obviously, if you want more cards or if you want to bump the line, because you have to join a queue, if you want to bump the line, you can give a donation. But if you're fine with waiting your turn and just getting 3 cards, then you get a free reading. So subscribe to her channel because you have to be subscribed to get a free reading. So definitely do that. And and join us on Fridays.
Yes, thank you for shamelessly plugging my live stream.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I also want to shamelessly plug the Discord.
Yes.
Anybody who is interested in like talking divination and sharing ideas and decks and witchy stuff. And also we have a book club that's going on. We just finished up the April. Yes, April. I was like, what month is it? We just finished up the April book club. We just finished The Black Girl Survives This One. Super great series of short stories.
Yeah, that was fun.
Overall, got a 3.5 from everyone. This is the first time we've ever agreed on a book. And,
I know, or at least on a rating.
On a rating.
like a final rating.
Yes. But there were some amazing short stories by some amazing authors. So if you're curious about any of that past conversation, feel free to join us. And then the poll for the May book club is going to go up shortly since we are almost in May. I can't believe it.
I know. Next Thursday?
Yeah.
Damn.
I was like, oh gosh, I got to get that poll up. So, because there were quite a few suggestions this month. So,
yes, I know.
I got to get on it. But yeah, feel free to join us in Discord too, so you can catch us offline. But yeah, again, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe to both channels if you're not, and we will see you